Well, Pfizer CEO writing a memo to employees this week after the presidential debate on Tuesday night, where, of course, their vaccine timeline was brought up. The president reiterating that he thinks a vaccine before the election is possible based on his conversations with companies, name-checking, of course, Pfizer, which has stated it expects to potentially have data by the end of October. Now, Pfizer saying in this letter to employees, quote, "Tuesday night, I joined the millions of Americans who tuned into the presidential debate. Once more, I was disappointed that the prevention for a deadly disease was discussed in political terms rather than scientific facts. People who are understandably confused don't know whom or what to believe." He lays out there then Pfizer's commitment to safety, to only bringing a vaccine to market and to regulators once they've proven that, saying at the end of his letter here, "Let's continue to work together to build trust in science. That is what we're doing at Pfizer. Imagine the compounded tragedy if we have a safe and effective vaccine that many people didn't trust. That is a risk none of us should accept." Guys, of course, this came up in the debate, and this comes up over and over again because the president keeps tying the potential availability of a vaccine to what he calls a very special day, no doubt meaning November 3rd. Guys.
Yeah, Mr. Bourla, who is, I've got his name correct there, who is the CEO, has Pfizer been, in terms of timelines, the most aggressive of the vaccine hunters?
They certainly have the earliest timeline for when they expect they could have data from their phase 3 trial, and they've been enrolling their trial the fastest. They and Moderna both started that phase 3 trial on July 27th. Pfizer has now enrolled more than 35,000 people of a planned 44,000, and more than 24,000 have received their booster shot. And Moderna is making good progress as well, but they've said probably November for data on their vaccine. So Pfizer saying October does seem more aggressive or more optimistic, however you want to look at it. But that date is also dependent on, of course, what happens in the trial, Tyler.
So let me ask you a dumb question, which I'm very famous for. What happens after you get the second booster? How do they evaluate whether it inoculates you against the virus? Do they then expose you to the virus in a very direct way? In other words, put an aerosol mask on your face and shoot you with COVID to see whether you get it? How do you know that the virus protection is there?
It's not a dumb question at all. It's one that many people have, and that's why there's so much variability in the timing, because they don't deliberately expose people to the virus. That's something called a challenge trial, a human challenge trial, and it has been discussed, but is not being done. What they do in these trials is basically say, you've got your 2 shots, you don't know if you got placebo or the vaccine, go about your lives, take all the precautions we're telling everyone to take. Don't try to get exposed. But if in the course of your daily life you get exposed, we'll be able to see if there's a difference in the placebo group versus the vaccine group. And the goal, of course, is to see fewer infections in the vaccine group than in the placebo group. But that's why it can take so long, because it's just people going about their natural lives.
Yeah, this could take months to evaluate whether the thing was working at scale, it would seem to me. Very quick question, because we're running out of time. Do they look for antibodies as a sign? I guess the question would be, does the vaccine cause you to produce antibodies to the disease?
Yes, we know that it does from the phase 1 results. The problem is we don't know in this disease, because it's a new disease, what level of antibodies you need to be able to be protected. So that's what the phase 3 trials are going to tell us.
Meg, you got all the answers. I can't throw you a dumb question you can't answer. Appreciate it.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.